All right, so the Fresno State football team, 2025 edition, just finished up, going 9-4 with a bowl victory. I had them go 8-4 the year, so I'm not disappointed by the record, but there is a sense of what could have been yet again because you blew out Boise State at their place, but you once again, if your Fresno State had a loss that's just inexcusable, losing at Colorado State, no excuse for that, and you should have beat Utah State at home. You do those two things, you probably host the Mountain West title game. I don't know if you win it, but you host it. But, that's been the case for Bulldog football for a long, long time. A lot of seasons where coulda, woulda, shoulda. Could have been better, but it wasn't. All right? So, let me go over some team statistics as we end the year, and I'll give thoughts on each position. So, on the offense, we averaged about 340-plus yards per game, roughly around 2,384 passing yards, E.J. Warner leading. We finished with 137 rushing yards, led by Speedy Luke. We scored 30-plus touchdowns, so keeping opponents under 2,000 passing yards, 1,200 passing yards. The highlight was the 26.1 per game offensively. But, that's an average offense, and that's what a 9-4 offense will get you. All right? And it suggests that you have weak quarterback play, or at least controversial quarterback play. Now, offense, we averaged, passing yards, depending on where you saw it. Warner had 30, not Warner, excuse me, the whole passing yards, 30 touchdowns, 12 interceptions total. Luke had 409 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns. Bryson Donaldson had 456 yards, 4 touchdowns to finish the year. So the rushing game, as anybody saw, the Bulldogs win as the rushing game went. All right, the quarterback position was so flawed this year. I think if Matt Entz had to do it over again, he would not bring in E.J. Warner, but that's what we got stuck with. And I think that he also needed to see that Fresno State is not North Dakota State. He's not coaching the Bison machine against other FCS teams. And that really was the weakness of this team on offensively. The wide receivers did not help. They were bad this year, no question about it. We saw when Congo came in with the amount of balls that were dropped. But I think now he can understand that I have to coach things differently at Fresno State, especially the quarterback position. Rightly or wrongly, Fresno State fans have been spoiled by the quarterback position in college and expect high-level play. Not necessarily a lot of yards, although watching Devontae Adams throw bombs, catching bombs from Derek Carr is a lot of fun. But we're expecting, at the worst, a Marcus McMaryion-type quarterback. A quarterback who's not going to make too many mistakes, who's going to be solid, who can run pretty good. E.J. Warner's problem was he just threw too many stupid interceptions. And I don't know why they went back to him. I don't know what the coaching staff was thinking. The only conclusion I can come up with at this point is just still some sort of large bribe. Otherwise, I just don't understand it. But Cochran probably won't be the quarterback next year anyway, so I guess it was the harm. But offense next year, it's got to do better. It's got to, at the very least, they can't turn the ball over as much. Now let's get back to the defense. They were excellent. They were a championship-level defense, and that's really what kind of stings about this offense is that they were good enough to win a title, right? And they were one of the best nationally. They were, according to one statistic I found, they allowed 320 yards per game. That's 21st nationally, giving up 23 points per game. That's 49th, and those numbers are really skewed by 2 games. Kansas, which you can understand, first game ever under that defense against a Power 4 team that was all hyped up. I think if you play that game later, the defense plays much better. Colorado State also skews those numbers, but outside those 2 games, they were excellent. They opponent for down conviction rating was 38.9, ranked 61st. The passing game especially was really, really good. I believe they were ranked second according to one statistic I saw, allowing 53.7 yards per game, or defensive turnover of averaging 1. They were 5th interceptions of 51.11 per passes. The problem was that they were, they didn't necessarily when they weren't picking the ball up, they weren't forcing a lot of fumbles. And that's made them be not as high in defensive ratings as you've seen. I mean, and that problem, that's just when the Bulldogs were winning, they got a lot of turnovers. When they were losing, they didn't get any. So this is a very, I don't want to say streaky defense, but it came in waves. You know what I'm saying? Like when they were winning games, they got turnovers. And that turnover margin was the real difference in this football team. When the offense gave up turnovers and the Bulldogs gave up, and they had some luck on their side as well. I mean, the special teams also at Oregon State gave them a victory. So let me finish off. Sammy Harris led the team in interceptions. Pearson, I believe, led the team in tackles based on what I'm seeing here. Okay. Let me just check one more thing. Yeah. See if this gets work. Yeah, Lynch was on his field goals is 21, 27, 7.8 on the year. He's going to try and go to the NFL. Good for him. Nobody else obviously did it. No touchdown returns on interception, on punt returns, the kickoff returns. Jordan Malalau and Speed Luke were the ones back there. Solid special teams, but you're going to get from John Baxter. Not going to make any mistakes. Got you at least one victory at Oregon State. So what we're seeing here, based on everything, is just what you would expect. A 9-8 win football team that, because of offensive consistently, could have been better. And obviously when it comes to the transfer portal, they're going to try and find a new quarterback. I can't imagine them going to send Deacon Rose or any other freshman they signed as the starting quarterback. Certainly not to start the year at USC. I think this is a defense that can be as good next year. We're losing quite a few players, but we'll see who they can plug back in. We're only losing, I think, Davis and Miller, who that I've seen in the transfer portal so far. They weren't part of the team at the Arizona Bowl, but those are not losses that are just devastating to you. I'm not going to preview the full schedule until we get back and to get those announced. But, if we had this defense going in the Coliseum, as we saw against the Arizona Bowl, I believe we'd have a chance. Not, a puncher's chance. A chance that you could keep them down. Especially since everyone seems to believe that Matt Enns is a better coach than Lincoln Riley. But, this is a good year overall for defense. We saw and against the second half of Georgia Southern, against Boise State, against San Jose State, so when a Matt Enns team is winning, they play great defense, they don't turn the ball, they force turnovers, and they slowly bleed you to death, grind you to death. Midwest-style football. Iowa does it. Minnesota, Wisconsin, those type of teams. That's what we're going to get at Fresno State. That's how he wants to play football. We'll see how his program looks in second year. Hopefully he gets the younger guys like Harold Duvall, Jordan Malalau, will be more involved in the offense. You know what I'm saying? I think that they will maybe try and be a bit more explosive next year, but we will see. Spring game is in a few months. I'll try and be there. If I am there, I'll record some things for y'all to watch. But this is the Bulldog team in the last year in the Mountain West. They beat everybody they were leaving behind. And they got good wins over Hawaii and San Jose State. Well, not good wins, dominating wins. They didn't lose to anybody. That's another thing you wanted. You didn't want to lose to any of the guys leaving behind. You say they're dead weight. Well, you got to prove it. But I can live with this year. I can live with it. It's what I expected. We'll see how they look next year. We got basketball now to keep us going until bat and ball spots next month. Hopefully we'll see how they do against San Diego State and San Jose State. For now, go Dogs.